Hey guys, welcome back to the Bootcamp solo PvP tutorial series. Thanks so much for all the positive feedback on the first video. If you haven't seen it yet, you can click on the eye in the top right of the screen to check it out. Today we're going to be discussing ship selection. The video will discuss how to go about choosing a flying style, and to choose what ship you might want to pick to best complement what you plan to do. While later in this video, I'll only be focusing on 2 Tech 1 cruisers and a battle cruiser, the main points apply to all ships. Because this series does focus mainly on Null PvP, I personally suggest if you're going to try to start with frigates to try it in low-sec faction warfare. They can be successful in Null, but often require a higher pilot skill and are less forgiving. I've linked a Google Doc by T-Sky about faction warfare frigate PvP in the description below. As with anything in EVE, there's technically no right or wrong or best way to do things, but the theories generally remain sound. First, we need to decide if we want a Brawl or Kite. Very few ships can pull off doing both of these effectively at the same time, so it's generally best to pick only one and focus on it. During the time of this video, the meta very much favors kiting, but brawling isn't dead by any means. When kiting, you gain advantages such as speed, range, damage mitigation, and most importantly, disengageability. As I mentioned in the last video, you'll often get unfavorable fights. Being able to look at a grid, say nope, and leave is a very valuable advantage, one that, unfortunately, most brawling ships don't generally have. However, when kiting you're generally less tanky, and if you mess up bad enough it'll end up in your untimely demise. Depending on the weapon system being used, kiting ships will, on average, do less damage than brawling ships. Beams are generally an exception to this. The player's ability to manage range, tracking, avoiding hard tackle, and maintaining situational awareness will ultimately decide your success while kiting. Brawling is an entirely different ballgame. Picking your fights is critical. Generally once you're engaged, you're committed. Escaping can be quite difficult if the target starts to bring reinforcements. A few of the ways that you can get out are nuding the people scramming you, burning away if the scram drops. If you have a scram and a web while they only have a scram, you can actually pull range on them slowly to hopefully get away. And my soul hurts when I say this, but you can also use ECM drones and pray to the RNG gods that a jam hits. Brawling ships often do more damage at closer range, but are slower and much tankier. You also get the added benefit of scrams, webs, and energy nukes. The main disadvantage, other than the commitment of them, is that they will often get kited pretty easily or outnumbered. Battle cruisers and battleships are able to use micro jump drives to escape from kiting ships, but other classes don't get this advantage. Even with all the disadvantages, if you catch a kiter out of position or find several smaller ships than you, it'll probably be a pretty great fight. Oftentimes when I'm flying a cheaper brawling ship, I'll fight gangs that I'm pretty sure I'll die to, but I'm confident I can take down a more expensive ship before I go down. Let's look at some ships. The Stabber is a very fast ship. Paired with its fall-off bonus and autocannon's inherently high fall-off, you have a recipe for a very good kiting ship. So we're going to shield fit this with 220mm autocannons and light missiles, or you can go for a slightly slower with 425mm autocannons and higher damage. The whole goal of this ship is to stay at roughly 20 kilometers with a close range ammo and pelt the target down. You need to be very careful of your cap on this ship, as it doesn't last long and you have no cap booster. The ship is also quite lightly tanked. While it theoretically could work as a brawling ship, there are much better options. Having 4 low slots means if you want any damage, you need to be shield tanked, but being decently shield tanked with 4 mids means you only get 1 tackle mod. However, due to the high DPS and the buffer tank of the ship, while it is a kiter, you can sometimes make the decision to go all in on an active rep ship and blast straight through their tank. The speed and fall-off bonus of the ship makes it an excellent low SP kiter and is my main suggestion for people looking to get started in kiting. Skills that it teaches are how tracking works, range control, capacitor management, and when to run away. The Vexor is one of my all-time favorite ships. The highs here are completely optional, but due to its medium hybrid turret bonus, you can get some really nice damage. This is a drone boat primarily, so you can use other modules in the high slot and still do good damage. Putting energy nukes to shut down other active tank ships is a decent option. The reason I would personally never kite with this is due to its very low base speed and the time it takes for drones to travel over a significant distance, especially non-speed bonus drones like the Vexors. Your drones would just end up chasing targets all day, especially other non-hard tackled targets. This ship can tank roughly 450 fully applied DPS with max skills, exile, hard shell, and pace loaded into the ancillary repper. You can basically keep this as a guideline of what you can face tank and for how long. Rarely will ships actually fully apply their 450 DPS, but once your ancillary runs out, you tank significantly less. The goal here is to either get lucky with a good 1v1, fight several smaller ships, or catch a kiting ship with the web and scram. Make sure to keep these pre-overheated. I'll link a tutorial on a maneuver called a slingshot in the description below, and may do one myself in the future. This maneuver will sometimes allow you to catch people or to escape from situations where you're being kited, even if you're significantly slower. Drone management, choosing fights, catching targets, and module and heat management are the key skills with this ship. When you start moving up the classes of ships, oftentimes their higher slot amount and decent base stats will allow you to fit a ship in a multitude of different ways. The Hurricane is an extremely good example of this. It has 2 damage bonuses and a roll bonus for optimal range. The 2 damage bonuses allow it to be a very deadly brawler. Shield will allow DPS at the expense of tackle and tank, while armor will allow you to have more tank and tackle mods in the mids. Alternatively, you can fit artillery onto the Hurricane, and with the added advantage of a skirmish command burst, it's a very effective kiter. Shield, of course, for higher DPS and effective range, while armor for having a defensive web and a cap booster. Do notice that I never said to fly anything expensive in this video. Nothing like an Orthros or a Sentinel. While these are extremely capable ships, without the right experience, the Orthros becomes nothing more than a glorified caracal. Using a ship's bonuses to their full potential is one of the key lessons in becoming a good PvP pilot. Being able to look at a ship before ever sitting in it, knowing what it's made to do, and making it fit to complement and enhance the ship and your abilities are the skills needed to win battles, even before you undock. Thank you everyone for watching. If you feel like I missed something, would like to add something yourself, or have an idea for a future video, please leave a comment. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. And lastly, if you'd like to discuss this more, you can catch me on my stream, or you can join my Discord. Links in the description below. Thanks again, and fly dangerous.